this is just the process of how I do take pictures on F1 2021. So this is I've just loaded into a Grand Prix mode on Silverstone. So we'll go through lights out, and simple. We just race. If something get to a good corner, back off from the AI because they got no speed through that ever. So get into a good position, and I'm gonna take pictures of the AlphaTauri. If there's anything happening with the AIs, then I'll take pictures of that. So we'll get to a good place, decent position, maybe side by side with Mazepin now. So maybe at the next corner, stay side by side with him. Through Brooklands, get a shot there. Through Luffield, so I overtake him, maybe dip a wheel onto the grass here. Not I've spun. Okay, so simple. I'm just gonna switch to controller for this. So I usually go for an outside camera so I can see what's happening. So side by side through there. So I think that is a perfect. Let me rewind a little bit. Pause at a random time. Okay. So now, first things first is reducing the shutter speed. I usually go for 1:250, just because it makes the cars look like they're going quickly, and that's always helpful. Motion blur keep attached to the car. Camera roll, I usually add a little bit, a few degrees, maybe that much, and then I find the zoom that I want. So usually you want to use some zoom, just makes it look a little bit nicer. Focusing on the cars, get the camera into a good position, find the position that you want to go in. Maybe like this. We'll try this for now. So now the next thing is to change the settings, how it looks. So never change the brightness because that just makes it look horrible. Okay, if you're changing how bright the picture is, use the exposure because it keeps the same colour. So saturation, I was put up just to give the colour a little bit more depth. You can see it's a lot more vibrant now. Contrast, always put it up, not too much. Never want to put the contrast up a lot because it'll make it look horrendous. Like, I mean, look at that. That looks horrible. So put it to about there. Bloom, I usually put it on about 20, just so you can get a little bit of shine from the cars. Lens flares are on because if they're off, you don't get any sunlight. Color grade, you can add color grades if you want. Generally, I don't. I feel like it's kind of, you can do that if you edit them after. I mean, there are some nice ones. Not really working with the settings I've got now, but you can make them work. You can definitely make them work. I did use them a lot on F1 2020 actually, especially the vintage one. I really like the vintage one. So you've got good saturation and contrast. I'm pretty happy with that, and the bloom. Vignette, I usually put a little bit on, not too much so that it's really noticeable, just a little bit so that you can kind of, the corners are a little bit darker, so you can focus on the middle. Grid lines, you can put them on if you want, but you need to make sure that you turn the HUD off, obviously, if you take a screenshot. Logo position, I just have in top right because I never really use the top right. Time of day, you can change that if you want. I usually just keep it on how it is, but I might change it here. Tyre override, you can choose which tyres the opponents and you are on. To me, you could go on full wets in the dry if you really wanted. Bit stupid, but if you really think you want to, then I guess you can go ahead. So let's just find a good position for this now. Maybe on the ground might show the speed a bit better. It's a nice one. So now we just take an export screenshot. Yep. So we hide the HUD, capture screenshot. Now you can move around a bit, maybe go from the back instead. A little side by side shot from the back. So then again, you just wait for it to render. So you can see the ground moving, cars stay static, so you can identify the cars. Now if you really want, you can sort of go around here. You can see Hamilton and Verstappen side by side, I think that is. Or is it Bottas? No, it's Hamilton and Perez. So then you might want to take a picture of that as well. So I'd say maybe a bit higher up. Go from behind, potentially. Change the camera roll about. Maybe we go from the outside of the track on this one. If we're allowed to move that much, yes we are. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more on this, so the background, you'll notice when you zoom in the background, sort of everything comes close together. But, say, that's a good shot. Yeah, happy with that. So wait for the progress to render. Oh no, never mind. So, you can maybe go for another shot around here. Just drifting or spinning. If you want to go for more of a dramatic shot, got us almost backwards, so we go like that. Now, we use the same sort of stuff. I can't save any presets at the moment because my game just crashes. Don't know why. Probably because the game's terrible. But if we go for a spinning one, maybe we could go from behind. Show the POV of another car. And we zoom in a bit just to make it look closer and more dramatic. We can do then is we can set the motion blur static, so then it looks like the car is kind of spinning violently, I suppose. So we get the dust being kicked up here, like this. So if we just wait for the progress to render, maybe even a little bit less shutter speed, if we go 1/60th. That looks pretty dramatic. You've got the Haas on the side as well. I might make it so you can see the Haas a little bit more. Like that. Now the cars will blur because they're at high speed. And so just get a dramatic shot of a car spinning, for example. So just a quick go. I mean, I need pictures resources anyway for my league, XRL. You should definitely join it. But that's a nice shot actually. But yeah, so short video just to show you how my process of taking pictures. I do actually go on Photoshop and edit the colours a little bit and the sharpness. Just change it around a little bit. It just makes the picture a little bit better to post on social media, for example. But yeah,